Underwood.
Here.
Gilman,
Yes.
Horn. Here. Lehman. Absent and excused. Chasm.
Here. Oh, so Commissioner Lehman is would be.
Florida or something.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, thank you. I think he'll be gone for the next meeting also.
Okay, nice. Next item is approval of the agenda. I don't see any blue sheets, so do any of the commissioners wish to add any item to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Horn, second by Commissioner Underwood to approve the agenda. David, no further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Next item is conflict of interest. Do any member of the board have any conflict of interest regarding any items on the agenda? Seeing none. Public comment. I don't think Kevin has any public comment. So we are going to move on. I am assuming that we change the agenda and Gail will not be here.
Gail called, she had a family emergency, she could not make it tonight, but she said she hopes to reschedule with us.
Okay, got it. Okay, I hope everything is okay.
I can give a little update on it. What, the reason Gail was coming was talking about insuring items in the right of way. She says they can't do it, there's no insurance company that does do it, it's at the cost of replacement and the high probability of having accidents, they just don't do it. She said at one point in time, Kalamazoo road commission might have done this several years ago, and she said they like bank owed the insurance company in like 2 months time, and that was it. So
Okay. Okay, all right. And just as a refresher, that was based on the last meeting where we asked staff to look into options for that.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Is there a way that we can reflect in our budget cost of uninsured motor? I mean, is there a way for publicly show that that is because of?
We probably have to track it separate.
Okay, is that a problem or is that?
And we're still gonna, well,
Because obviously we have to self-fund it. So
yeah,
what happened?
we could probably just start reporting that as a separate item. Similar to like service
Is that
requests.
hard? I'm just trying to.
No, it's just, we're gonna do Act 51 coding as we normally do,
Okay.
signals or signs or whatever.
Okay, I was just curious,
Just as a rough estimate, we are able to recoup costs for most of that equipment when it gets damaged through the other party's insurance, right?
I think we've had pretty good
Auto
luck with it.
liability.
Okay,
Go after.
so more often than not, we are
The uninsured.
able to recover some costs. All right.
We can go at them, try to do wage garnishments, different things like that.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it, Commissioner Lehman was talking about it, and my take on that is that, to me, it depends upon the damages, right? I mean, if it's like a couple of $1,000s, we are gonna spend more than that in trying to file a suit and do that, but if it's like $50,000, then I would say that, if it's an uninsured motorist, so I think that will be on a case-by-case basis, so
So we did,
that, at least that's my
I
opinion.
think Gail is looking into that incident for us.
Okay,
And we have had instances where the county prosecutor's office went after like kids damaging signs and stuff and put it into the, restitution.
yeah,
They have automatic payments back to us.
yeah. Do we know if this driver, I can't remember, he wasn't ticketed, right? Oh, we don't know.
Do you remember
Yeah,
what
I love that.
I don't know. I can't say.
Any other questions? Okay. Next item is the sale of the old Kingsley facility, and you're going to present, I know Kevin is here, so
Yeah, definitely.
whoever.
Kevin wants to add anything to it. We did receive a full asking price offer for $615,000, so we are listed it for it. It's a local business in Kingsley. They're looking to expand a little bit down there. So recommend to the board to accept that offer.
Okay. Any comments, Kevin? Anything to add?
Yeah, just as of this week, the buyer's environmental company, Global Environmental, got a copy of they did a quick search, right? And so the report that was produced in 2018 popped up that that there was some previous contamination, and so we were able to get them a copy of that report. She went through it. Don't see any issues with the buyer having any issues with it, but for them to do their paperwork, then to cover their trail to file it, it might take them an extra 30 days from what they have in the contract. Right now, they have 30 days to do their environmental, which is what Global Environmental needed to do the phase 1, but they're gonna have to do a phase 2, or if we can just jump right to the point that there's contamination on the property, they'll just file a BEA, but it might take them an extra 30 days to write up that BEA and submit it to the state and get it recorded. But as far as the buyer is concerned, from my conversations with them, they have no issues with it. They just need to dot the i's, cross the t's, check the boxes, make sure they're covered, and they're ready to go. I mean, they're kind of moving through things quick. So it really, all we will, I think, be waiting for is just Global Environmental to finish up all of their documentation that they need to protect the buyer.
Okay.
Well, all things considered, I think you helped us price it right.
Yeah.
And I think the offer, sometimes you hit something and it sparks somebody's imagination, and that's what needed to happen here. As far as the environmental, I don't think I'm worried about it, and I wouldn't be worried if they are, because even if there was something to take care of, it costs less to pipe water across the street.
Well, they have, yeah, according to 2018,
They
it
have to do
says
that anyway.
you can't drink the water or
Right.
breathe the air in the building,
Yes.
is what the report says.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
All things considered.
Didn't we have employees in that building or?
yeah, I think it was in 1994, they actually did the cleanup for this. I don't know why it didn't get filed until 2018.
Was it from a use as a road commissioner, or was there another use for that?
No, it's your.
No,
it's your
it's been
building.
road cleanup.
Oh.
And MDOT.
I mean, I remember Copper Ridge, the original brownfield project.
Yeah,
That we had,
salt contamination,
salt
different
contamination.
different contamination.
Different,
This had underground storage tank, gasoline under,
Gotcha.
or diesel underground storage
Okay.
tank that leak.
Okay, yeah.
So there is a restrictive covenant that says there is actually a boundary that says you can't touch this dirt.
Right.
So there is
So
some
is it
hair,
fuel?
there is some hair on
Okay.
this,
Just
on
like
this
that
dog.
ash thing on Cedar Run, right? They have this.
Yes.
record that they
Yeah,
dump.
so there are, but the buyer is willing to
Right.
work around it. So
Yeah.
there were a couple other parties we were talking to, and my guess is if this probably would have been a huge red flag that might have killed. So this buyer, I think this deal is, this is the person to sell it to.
Because they
Exactly.
understand.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we know?
I'd make that motion that we accept the offer of $615,000 for the sale of the Kingsley facility.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gilman, second by Commissioner Underwood to accept AVS Solutions offer to purchase the Kingsley building located at 1471 East M113 for the list price of $615,000. Just one question, Kevin. Do we know what they intend to do with this property?
So they're a building supply
In a warehouse.
warehouse. It's a warehouse.
Okay.
That's why I don't think they're really.
Yeah,
concerned.
that's-
They're not gonna have a bunch of employees. They're not gonna turn it into an office building and have employees working in it. So I don't think they're too concerned about it. That's.
Any other questions before we vote?
I just have a Phil question I can ask after we voted.
Okay, roll call, please.
Gilman,
Yes.
Corn,
Yes.
Lehman, absent and excused, sorry, Underwood,
Yes.
and Kevin.
Yes. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you for your service, Kevin.
I'm here now.
Thank you for your service.
No, serious.
Do you can, is the.
I have a Phil question, very quick, out of curiosity,
Okay.
having not been on the board since we've sold an asset like this. Are these funds restricted to be, okay. So we don't have to, or are we earmarking it towards our debt on Kingsley because it came from, or is this just can be used for anything in
It's
the
just
budget?
fund balance.
Okay.
And under County Road Fund 201.
Okay,
All right, good question.
So I'll keep Dan posted as to the progress of it, but I will just say, so I mean, as far as if they. The price wise, then if they need an extra 30 days to get this environmental, do we have to come back here, or is does Dan have the authority to just approve an addendum to give them 30 days to close?
Yeah, I would imagine that Dan would have that.
Okay, all right, I just wanna, just because they're gonna ask that
Yeah.
for sure, it's like,
Yeah, we don't need the money to move into another building.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, yeah, okay, sounds great.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys, yeah, have a good
Thank you.
night. Thank you.
All right, next item is the 2025 county-wide long line pavement markings. Dan.
So this is a bid that got put out and it'd be to paint every single line in the county. We don't think we need to paint this much, but that would be the cost. We're looking for the board to approve that tonight. Once the roads clear up a little bit, we're gonna send out the engineering text and get this narrowed down a little bit. We didn't budget this dollar amount, so if we did go to that dollar amount, we would have to do a budget adjustment, but we don't foresee going this high. This is worst case scenario.
What is the dollar amount that we did budget?
I kept it the same as like last year,
Was
310,000.
okay. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, last year and this year, we are now doing this early, right? We are putting these bids out earlier, so we are getting a better price. Whereas in the past, we kind of waited and got a higher price, right? Yes.
And we've notified our smaller partner friend that we're gonna be doing this, and have they gotten back to you on whether?
I'll
they need
double
something?
check. I know Derek, because he put this out before he left.
Okay,
I believe he reached out to him, but I'll just clarify.
easily, like,
Oh, okay,
we always try to
They
make
make
sure they
sense.
have the option to join in
sure,
and pay their share, but to join in while we're doing it.
sure.
Does the city paint their own lines? Like with their own equipment, or does the city contract it out too?
I don't think anybody paints their own.
You don't? Okay.
No,
So basically then, this is, in the end, it's the number of miles we actually contract to have done, but we're just doing a blanket approval to use them based on their bid.
Based off their bid, this would be to do the entire county, saying that we don't eliminate any roads.
Yeah. Which
Quite a few years back.
The entire county, yeah.
We foresee that there would be probably some roads when the weather breaks, so we see that we're saying like, you know, what, we don't need to do this couple mile stretch or these, you know, symbols look good still.
but so this is like for lack of a better term, the worst case scenario,
Yeah.
right?
A few years back, we just did without quantities. They just got a unit price. And then once engineering kind of put it through their template, bidding template, they put segments of road and number of feet. So they actually have quantities calculated of white paint, yellow thick paint, and
And they understand, of course, when they're bidding, that this is the case.
Yeah, we have the ability to adjust that.
So that's in the contract.
there was mobilization. So if we
Right.
do decrease quantities, we're not hurting the contractor.
Right.
So they're still getting that mold.
Got it.
Can I have a motion and then we can continue if we have more questions or deliberate
I'll
more?
make the motion to award the contract PK Contracting in the amount of $433,295.93.
One second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Corn, second by Commissioner Underwood to approve awarding, so Commissioner Gilman. Thank you, to approve awarding PK Contracting the contract at a unit price bid total of $433,295.93. The more or less it's not, shouldn't be there, so it's just, it's more or less.
Oh, is it in the packet?
Maybe it's in the
It must be on the
Yeah, it's
packet.
in the pack. Okay, any further questions, discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Corn,
Yes.
Lehman, absent and excused. Underwood,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Cadam.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item is the Esri license, Larry.
So this is, we have an Esri license agreement with Esri and we usually do 1 year. And it's about $30,000, 605 per year. And the county also has, their contract with the county or with Esri. And Esri's, theirs is a little bit more. Theirs is like 15 or 16. I'm not exactly sure what theirs is. But, they're limited on licenses. We're limited on licenses. So we've been talking now for about 2.5 years now. Jim Baker from the county works with equalization. He's kind of heading up their Esri contract. We got together with Esri. we're trying to put an agreement together with Esri. So that is a small government agreement that will basically put a blanket over both of us. And we'll have unlimited licenses for both organizations.
Sort
So
of lesser cost.
for a lesser cost, our cost,
share.
our cost. So
In the
they
end,
went-
because we're contracting for 3 years though, instead of doing our own for a year.
correct, that helps the 3-year commitment. And then also, Jim has went through the county, each department and kind of divvied his, spending amount up a little bit. And then he has, basically told us that we would be committed for our 23 a year instead of our 30,605. So it's a savings of about $7,605 for us annually. But again, gives us unlimited licenses. We get at times have to trade licenses and for our users. So.
Can you help explain what you mean by licenses? What are those licenses used for on our end?
Okay, so we have 4 servers downstairs and each one of those servers have their own licenses, kind of like a Microsoft server license, something very similar to that, but it's Esri software on there. So we have those servers give us the ability to do our ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS portal, enterprise. So pretty much everything that we use our GIS for, everything that we use in our work order management system with CityWorks, all the apps and the maps and all of our database, we've mapped out our signs, we've mapped out our guardrail, our paint markings, all the assets that we own, we have mapped out. And those licenses give us the ability to do that, as well as edit that data, house the data, and then actually save or share the data out as well. And when I say share, that's still internal, but via the county, we do share some data with them and they share some data with us. It also takes care of our AVL, like watching the trucks drive all over and, we know where they're at and we know how many miles they put on. We know where our mowers have been. So we use our mapping system to do a lot of that and track and plan for our annual projects. So engineering puts out their projects, we map them out so that we know length, width,
Without
pavement,
Esri,
gravel.
we're out of telemetry. We're out of the telemetry business.
Correct. It's back to RoadSoft.
Yeah.
It's back to RoadSoft. And RoadSoft's a great program, but it's a program that limits us greatly.
So how do the limited licenses impact that versus the unlimited license we're gonna get?
Okay, so the licenses, we have about 4 editing licenses. And we have more people in-house that I'm trying to give that to. They'll get on their tablets and I want them to be able to edit data.
Sure.
And we can't right now. They're limited. So I'm trying to give them the editing licenses, which cost a great deal more.
Somebody might have to log out, so somebody else can log in.
Got it.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
And we were paying 30,000 a year.
Correct.
Otherwise, we're gonna be paying 23,000 roughly for this.
For the next 3 years. And we have talked to the county about it. And I said, as you grow and as your license expand, maybe next, in 3 years, we renegotiate
Yeah.
and see if we can balance this out a little bit.
But we would be in a bigger cap anyway for an annual. So one way or the other, we're going to be paying a little bit more potentially.
Correct.
Question under
When's the contract start? When's this?
So we have to get approval here. I was trying to get approval from you guys and then the county would go to their board meeting. They would present it to them. The idea is February 19th to start the new.
And we just pay the county and then the county pays the.
Correct. Yeah, it would just go there and Phil and Dean would figure out the rest.
Okay.
Now, we did renew this contract in August.
Yeah, I remember it.
So that they're prorating for us. They're basically giving that money back to us. So then we can push to this contract as well. So they're prorating it for us. So we're not gonna lose any money. We're gonna utilize that money to pay that license fee.
Did the county approach us or did we approach the county for this collaboration?
We, like I said, we've been doing it now for about 2.5 years. Jim and I have been talking about doing this and we always were shy. We were always about $14,000-15,000 shy of getting this EA put in place. But as he went through each department and he started talking to administration and they figured out that they could kind of get their money a little bit higher than and meet that $15 or $15,000 mark. Because they're gonna expand. I mean, it's gonna grow at the county. We're kind of capped off. We're not really gonna grow, you know, we're gonna have a few more licenses, so.
Can I have a motion and then we can have further questions or?
I guess I make the motion that we approve the contract with Grand Fairbanks County for Ursa for 23,000 annually for 3 years. This sound about right?
Motion by Commissioner Underwood, support by Commissioner Gilman to enter into a 3-year contract with or agreement with Grand Traverse County and Esri
And that's.
in the amount of $208,800 and road commission will be responsible for $23,000 annually for the next 3 years. Any further discussion, questions? Before we- Seeing none, roll call please.
Lehman, absent and excused. Underwood,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Corn.
Yes.
Chasm.
Yes. Motion passes. All right. Now, we'll skip public comment. There isn't any. Manager's comments.
Guys been working hard. We have not really had much of a break with plowing, so hopefully sooner or later here we get a couple nice sunny days in a row and we can catch up the trucks and give guys a little break. They're definitely.
It's rough out there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even today, that's when I drove over here. Great.
Hopefully we're in the downward slope though here. Another, March is near.
I remember getting a few years ago, I was getting a blizzard in March. That was, I think, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So I would have put it past.
Wasn't that after it was 80 degrees?
Yeah, the week before it was
Yeah.
80 degrees,
Yeah.
and then we got 2 feet of snow the next weekend.
Usually playing on some.
Yeah, it was about more than 10 years
Yeah.
ago. It was, but yeah. Any other comment? Okay. All right, commissioners, comments, questions, and future agenda items. Commissioner Corn, I'll start with you.
I just was wondering how the search for a highway engineer was going. Have you had any response or is there anything we need to do to help in any way?
Yeah, we have not had any response at this time.
Done.
No.
How long is that contract with to have our kind of interim,
When we talked to Joe originally, we kind of looked at like 60 days. At that time, we'll probably come back to the board if we don't and get additional funding. But that'll probably be past my spending allowance at that point. Or, we're gonna be heading that direction, but it's been working out great. Joe Solanke's been helping us out a lot. It's been nice to have him back on the team and he's definitely keeping us moving, so.
So you guys just worked on all of the wage study and all the stuff, so you feel pretty good about what you're offering or do you think there's any issues at all or?
We put it out for the range of what the
Okay.
wage study came back. at.
Okay,
It's definitely hard to find somebody with the skill set.
okay,
So, governmental road commission, somebody that, field residents, different things like that. The last 2 that we hired, Derek came from Virginia, West Virginia, and Angelica came from California.
yeah.
So
And she's still here.
she is still here. Yep.
So this is going nationwide though?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
we're
same
on a-
kind of method you've used before? Okay,
When you take salary and benefits for a highway engineer, what we're offering. On a cost analysis, is it more costly or less costly to have an in-house? And I understand we probably do want one, but I'm just curious, is it more or less costly or about the same to have a third party out like Wade Trim doing that county engineer work versus having it in-house.
Something I've definitely been looking at. As far as right now, I've been doing a lot of in-house design. It kind of looks like it might be cheaper to sub out the design. But as far as you need an engineer on staff to look over, it,
Right.
I think it would. be better.
That's what,
Yeah.
okay. So based upon that, could you scale down the qualifications? Which would maybe improve our ability to attract more candidates if we take out the design piece out and.
I think with a managing engineer, we want them to have that to oversee
Okay.
the vendors or
Okay.
contractors to
Okay.
make sure that we have different projects.
Real quick, went with Dan down to the county board of commissioners. Dan answered their questions. Went well. That's a good way to say it, I thought. Dan did a good job representing where we're at, what we're doing. Other than that, the big one that I came up with, and I've already talked to Dan about it, is the whole Paradise Kingsley water agreement. Hopefully we'll get that finished up here this month or so, because there's a whole thing where we have to sign the agreement with Kingsley, but Paradise has to approve it before they can bill us, or some whole. I thought the previous administration had taken care of this. We found out they had not. Subsequently, Kingsley's also changed their administration, so we have to kind of figure out where the world's at. Other than that, all the incidental costs have been covered now, I understand. So they're happy with that. So we're down to that water agreement. Both from there.
I guess I just have a couple of questions. Are we pretty much done? We're all closed out now as far as Kingsley goes. I mean, any outstanding?
We still have a few punch list item lists. Now we've been in there for a little while. We're starting to find a few things, so we still have them. Okay, they're going back and doing those. And we still have an issue with some asphalt work that was done, that was being held
Duck bonds and whatnot.
until spring, you know.
Okay, so we're getting ice right now in spots, basically.
There's a weird scenario that came out behind the truck wash, but funds are being held back from that. Okay, but other than that, yeah, we're pretty much there.
All right, and then you had mentioned, and we're going to be having our construction committee meeting theoretically on the 4th. But you had mentioned that Joe might have come up with some possible solutions that we can discuss for Town Line Road too.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I'm just trying to make sure that we do what's prudent in terms of timing on the actual repair and the type of repair that we do. I think some good ideas from what I'm hearing anyway. So in Alan, I think is probably one of the most important people in that, because he's actually done this kind of stuff. You know, other than that, went to Acme. Really nothing road commission oriented out there for us. Just reminded them that you know, we're available. And I'm still in the phone book. I still have a landline and all that stuff. Yeah, that's right. I'm like, I think the last person in Traverse City with a landline.
Spectrum is keeping that server. They're just
Right.
They're like,
I have one too.
it's like the dusted. They're like, why do we still have it? Oh, we have one person in Grand Traverse County.
One
Great
page.
dial-up internet.
And you know, it's funny, I'm always the last one on, you talk about Spectrum, I'm always the last one on there to think back when it was Cable Michigan or something like that. They literally turned off the server. I called them, I said, hey, I'm not getting my emails. He says, oh, we turned that server off. It's like,
I wasn't that far off.
I was like the last guy, you know, it was terrible about it all is I was like number 17 when cable modems came in. I was literally the 17th guy to get a cable modem in Traverse City. So anyway, it was one of those dial-ups and you get the data back on the cable. A long time ago.
Yeah.
So other than that, Dan and I showed up for the Whitewater Township meeting. And they moved it.
They moved it.
You know, aren't we on their agenda or something too as a report? And you'd think they'd send us a thing, you know, but no, they
Oh,
didn't.
boy. Okay.
So anyway, all is well, and I'm sure that our drivers are getting worn down a little bit. This stuff the stuff that's out there right now is just slippery.
Yeah.
And no matter what you do to it, it's
Yeah,
slippery.
it's not, you can't keep up with it.
Just keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers and everything. And all that. So other than that, I get
Thanks. So, future agenda items, I do want to make sure that it stays on our radar, what we talked about, the last meeting about possibly doing some sort of a study session on local road funding. And I don't want to get away from that. Probably I'm thinking maybe sometime in April when Commissioner Cohen gets back, and so that we can schedule and I want to do a study session rather than,
Yeah.
devoted just to that, so that we're not going to be making any decisions, but just looking at data and options that staff presents and having and then at a board level, having just discussion and exchanging ideas on how to address, whatever, based upon our past experiences and what issues we have been dealing with regards to local roads, how we can improve on that and what can we do better. So I think tentatively, maybe we should try to shoot for sometime in April, just not in the first 2 weeks of April. But maybe towards the third or fourth week of April. And obviously, before we set up any work session, if Kylie can set out like some sort of a doodle poll to all the commissioners to see which days and times would be best for them. And then obviously staff has to be prepared. Presentation as well. That's it. All right, any comments from any of you?
I have a budget amendment coming up.
Okay.
I won't be here for the March meeting.
Okay.
But pretty much getting last year closed up and should have January financials out for the next meeting, so maybe I can
it. Get it on the price down.
get an amendment in, because we know there's some changes and.
I don't know this for a fact, but I'm just kind of assuming we've used more salt and sand already than we had used all of last year, or are we kind of like, where are we with that? Like, for instance, the city went before their board, Frank had asked for
Yeah.
more salt because they had already
Oh my
used up.
God.
Are we any,
Yeah.
I think
Is
we
there
have
anything
5,000
you need
tons
from
out
us?
there. We still have 1,800 available for this facility.
Okay.
We just put an order for 1,200 tons down at Kingsley for county salt. We already took the state salt down there for the year, but
I would say we're more like probably like 3 years ago, where we used to use for
Mhm.
the sand pile. The last few years, it's like, well, the whole sand pile's still here.
Yeah.
We're actually seeing this year, we can look out there and go.
Right?
"Oh,
It's-
Okay.
down,
Mostly
right?
right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah, I
sure.
just thought about it when I heard the city, obviously they're on a much smaller scale than us, but I just thought it was interesting.
It's amazing what a deal it is. You know?
Well, I will say this, given how hard this winter have been, you guys have done an incredible job keeping those roads clear.
The roads are so
and-
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and avoiding ice build up as much, really,
It's a lot of stuff.
it's a lot of snow. It's,
They're so high.
I mean,
I know where to put it.
we have exceeded
Running out of
our
space.
average seasonal snowfall about 2 weeks ago. We broke that. So it's a lot of snow, and I don't think people appreciate how hard you guys and your crew have worked to keep those roads open and make sure that people are able to get to work and to school and so I think your staff needs, your crew needs to be commended for that very hard work. I mean, we all appreciate that.
I haven't had one time driving around where the roads haven't been taken
Yeah.
care of, like at all. It's been pretty amazing.
And thank you for communicating with DTE and everyone on the temp line. That is a lot better in terms of the timing, and which was to be expected the first day or two. I think the kinks needed to be worked out, but now I think traffic is going very
Well,
smoothly.
people kind of have to get used to it, I mean, too, I mean.
Well, but I think there was a timing issue because it was just not, in the morning, you know, there wasn't accounting for the left turns and
Mm.
the things were turning red before, which sometimes with just one car going.
Are they on schedule still? Are they?
They haven't said yet.
They haven't said yet.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and Tuesday at 6 p.m. at Blair Township Hall is the MDOT open house regarding, I think it's an interlocking project,
Oh, okay.
so if it's from 4 to 6. and it's,
Tuesday?
Tuesday,
On
the
the
8th, I want to say 18th, it's from 4 to 6, and, you can just come and go, and the staff will be there to ask questions. And
We put down 11,300 tons through yesterday. Between us and MDOT, not counting the sand
that's,
that we mixed too, so they're
yeah, because it's
pushing out a
gotta
lot
be
more.
just so much more, you know, numbers wise.
At night,
I know you
yeah,
guys
Chevy
prepare for
runs.
things. but-
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
More than we purchased.
crazy.
This year.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we should put that open house on our website or something, so people can.
Yeah, I've been sharing it. I know that the ticker put it in. I shared it. We should probably share it on our Facebook page.
Whatever, yeah.
The ticker did a nice little write-up about the interlocking project and as much as you can kind of share that, because I mean, we are happy to answer questions, but we don't work for MDOT, and it's so nice when we have MDOT all in one place, and they've been doing them in different locations and times, so it's easy for people to get to them.
Well, we had a meeting here with them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was very.
So that'll be good.
Yeah. All right, there's nothing else, no other business,
To adjourn.
motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, you're adjourned.